Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's a girl Cheche Stitches. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the steps I took in making this African map backpack. If this sounds like something you're interested to know the steps I took in designing this African map backpack, let's get started. The first step I'm going to be taking in the making of this backpack is to draw out the shape of the map on a paper. I'm going to be working with this small traced out map to draw out the bigger map for the backpack. The drawing of this map looks easy, but seriously, it was not easy as I thought. I do sketch bags, but the issue of this map was just another thing of its own. I was just erasing and erasing like countless times. I felt like quitting in the making of this bag because the drawing was just frustrating me. Like, oh my god, I can't even explain. At the end of the day, I drew something that looks like a map. I'm going to use this marker to increase the lines of the drawing. Once I was done increasing the lines of the drawing, I'm going to follow the lines and cut it out. After I was done cutting it out, this is how it looks like. And for the front and back of this map backpack, I'm going to be using a mark hole for the thickness. So this is a mark hole that I'm working with, and I'm going to place the map pattern on it and I'll trace it out. I'll use the pattern to cut out for both front and back, and this is how it looks like. The material I'm working with is this beautiful African print fabric, and I'm going to get one part of the mark hole. I'm just going to place it randomly this way and just cut out a free length and width that I know that it should match what I need. I'm going to draw up the back fabric part, and I'm going to be working on the front part because I'm going to be adding the front zipper to the front part of the bag, and this is me targeting where I'll be adding the zipper and marking a straight line there. From the first line I marked, I'm going to go up by 1 inches. I'll use my ruler to extend the dot. I'm going to use my ruler to divide the both line equal. After the division, I'm going to use my tape and mark in 3.5 inches on both sides. From the marked dot I marked 3.5 inches. I'm also going to mark 1 inches. So watch carefully what I did. From that point to that point, the gap is 1 inches. So from that part I marked 1 inches line, I'm going to connect it like a triangle to meet the line of 3.5 inches. From the center line, I'm going to start the opening. I'll use my razor to open it a little bit before I use the scissors to open it wider. Follow that line of the center part and you now divide the triangle. So watch the lines I'm following to create that triangle effect. The reason why you create a triangle effect is so that the edge of the zipper will be neat. Right now I'm going to be adding the zipper and I've already cut out the small pieces for the inside pocket. When cutting out the width of this inside pocket, the width on the both sides would be wider than the opening. The same goes to the zip. You don't cut out the exact length of the zip and the pocket. It's time now to start adding the zipper. So this is the zip I'm working with and I'm going to get the front part of the zip. Watch carefully what I'm doing, you will definitely understand. You place it on one side and this is how it will look like. I'm going to go right now and stitch it up. So once I was done stitching it up, this is how it looks like. I'm going to get this inside pocket and place a good face to the back parts of the zipper and as well go right and stitch it. Once I was done stitching, this is how it looks like. I'll be stitching the second part. So I'm going to get this part, I'll place it to the zipper, I'll get the inside pocket as well and place it just like this. I'll go right on my sewing machine and stitch it up. After the stitching, this is how it looks like. So this is where I'm going to show you what that triangle is serving. So as you can see, I'm going to pass that triangle inside just like this, and I'm going to go right on my sewing machine and top stitch it. If you watch carefully, you see that the edge of this zipper side is now neat. So I'm going to start the top stitching. When top stitching, this pocket shouldn't face this part, it should face the other part when top stitching this side. So I'm going to start from the side of this triangle and end at this side. So watch carefully, and once I'm done stitching this, top stitching this part, I'll take this pocket this way and complete the top stitching. Once I was done top stitching on it, this is how it looks like. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is to close up the side of the pocket. Once I was done with the adding of the front zipper, this is how it looks like. I also have a tutorial I worked on inside pocket. I'll drop the link to it in the description box. I'm going to be tracing how I'm going to carefully add this mark hole and the zipper won't be affected. So as you can see, I'm just trying to trace it very well and I finally got a perfect fitting. I'm just going to trim out small allowance away. I'm tracing this chalk on it so that I won't make any mistake when gumming it with a foreign gum. Once I was done adding the foreign gum to one part of the mark hole, this is how it looks like. I'm going to be very careful when joining it to the fabric so that I'll get a perfect fitting of the mark hole to the fabric. I made a little bit mistake here. I should have gummed this pocket to the fabric first before gumming it to the mark hole. So I'm going to add small gum to the pocket and then gum it down with the fabric. After I was done gumming the fabric to the mark hole, this is how it looks like. The next thing is that I'm going to reduce the allowance a little bit, and once I was done reducing it, I'm going to be making notches because I'll be using these materials by the sides to make the edges of the marker smooth. So guys, after working on the front part, this is how it looks like. I'm also going to do the same thing to the back of this backpack. As you can see, I've already folded the back and this is how it looks like. This is the front and this is the back. I'll be dropping the front one side and get the back because I'll be working on the back right now. I've already folded these small inches of material and I added my half circle ring to it. So if you watch this map, you should be able to detect the right placing of the map. When you place the bag correctly, you can now place the rings for the handle of the bag accurately. Watch how I'm placing these rings to this bag and I'll use my pin to hold it while I go right to my sewing machine and stitch it up. After the stitching of the rings, this is how it looks like. The next thing I'll be working on is to use my taffeta material to cover those rough parts of the bag. When cutting out a taffeta or lining for the bag, make sure that you cut out the taffeta not equal with the shape of the bag. As you can see, I'm also going to do the same thing to the front of the bag. So guys, as you can see, the front of the bag and the back of the bag is looking so neat. Don't forget the right way a map should stand when adding the side of the bag to it. So guys, I'm done stitching the side of the bag and this is how it looks like. If you're working with a black head machine, instead of you adding a mark hole for the thickness of the side, I added a foam to mine for easy sewing because working with a black head machine is not that easy for sewing some types of bag, and when you make everything very thick for the machine to carry, probability of it not even responding. You understand? So what I'm going to do now is also to make the edges of the side neat. I'll go right to my sewing machine and fold the both sides of the side and stitch it up. So guys, after I was done folding the both sides, this is how it looks like. Make sure that when you are cutting out the side of this bag that you already measured the roundness of the main body, which is the map part, so that you won't have any issues when adding this to the main body of the bag. I'm going to mark the parts I measured for the zipper to start, and I'll use my pin to start pinning the side to it before I go right on my sewing machine and stitch it up. I've made a lot of backpack tutorials on this channel. I'm going to be dropping the links in the description box. Before I forget how to add zipper to the side of the bag neatly, I have a detailed tutorial on that. I'll also drop the link in the description box. After I was done stitching up one part of the backpack, this is how it looks like. I'll also be stitching up the back of the bag to it, so I'm going to target where I'll start the stitching from the shape of the bag. So you measure where the zipper started and the particular place, and you also target it to the back and start the stitching. Once I was done stitching the back of the bag to the bag, this is how it looks like. I'll be working on the handle of the bag. This is the 4 hooker I'll be working with for the handle, and this is the 2 adjuster that you'll be needing as well. So I've already folded the handle of the bag and this is how it looks like. When folding it, make sure you add interfacing for it to be thick. The length of the handle is 33 inches and the width is 4 inches before folding. Watch carefully how I'm going to be passing the adjuster and the hook for you to be able to adjust the handle of the bag. So you first of all pass the adjuster followed by one of the hook, and this is how you're going to take that part of the hook and pass it again from the center of the adjuster and you bring it out. So this part I just brought out will be stitched to this part. So I'm going to be pinning it. When I go to my sewing machine, I'll stitch both of them together. So for the second hook, I'm just going to pass it through this way. I'll use my pin to hold it. I'll do the same thing to the second handle of the bag. After working on the handle, I'm going to clip it to the ring on the back of the bag. The adjusting part of the handle will face directly to the down part of the bag, not the upper part, when clipping the handle to the bag. The adjuster I added to the bag will help you to adjust the handle to your desired length. See how the inside of the bag looks very neat. The outside looks neat and the inside looks neat. So it's very good when you are making stuffs. Let it be neat. You should always consider neatness of your work. It is really important. So guys, thank you all for watching, and this is all for the making of a map Ankara backpack. Subscribe to this channel for more beautiful videos like this to come. Thank you guys for watching again, and see you all in my next tutorial.